Hey kid, don't ever let them get inside your head. They'll tell you what to do in life instead of everything you know that you could get. Don't let them guide your life towards regret. I'll fight for what I love with every breath. My past is filled with things I won't forget. I use them all to push me to my best. So treat the worst of times just like a test. If only I could go back in time, I'd tell myself that everything will end up alright. Just push yourself, test yourself, figure out what you like, and find your limits, don't be rigid, always work towards a prime. Surround yourself with open minds, people can change your life. A few friends with intent can help you feel alive. Find a passion, take some action, and with a little time, just be patient, make a statement, try to enjoy your life. They'll try to kick you while you're down. They wanna rise up while you drown. They wanna fill your head with doubt. They're silently scared that you'll figure it out. I'll make it look like I'm losing, won't bother hiding my bruises. And when they finally think you're wounded, then it's your chance to be ruthless. They don't wanna see me care. Anytime I make some progress, I can see that they compare. I think everyone's against me, maybe something in the air. Am I paranoid? I swear a void is forming and they're scared. I walk a straight path, not many can say that. I like to play fast, cross me and there's payback. You better pray that I don't see your face at any place that I go. I know you hate that. I've been doing fine, I'm not wasting any more time. I live for the fight and the climb, and I think that the pain that's deep inside is what defines. So I won't give up, I'm gonna make it to the top. I don't care what's in my way, I swear I'm never gonna stop. I could fall flat on my face and I swear I will get back up, cause I don't deserve a thing and the road ahead is tough. They'll try to kick you while you're down. They wanna rise up while you drown. They wanna fill your head with doubt. They're silently scared that you'll figure it out. I'll make it look like I'm losing, won't bother hiding my bruises. And when they finally think you're wounded, then it's your chance to be ruthless.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Week 4 of the 2024 Warriors of the Rift. I am Megan Akrosma, joined this week by Bob Penguin. How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing pretty good. Did you draw the penguin yourself?
Yes, I drew that when I was, I think, 13 years old.
And how old are you now?
I am 26.
God, we are getting old. We are getting up there. We're about to be boomers, you and I. And that's a horrifying thought, isn't it?
Yes, I'm closer to 30 than I am to 20 now.
Yeah. So tonight we have Coast Guard Gaming versus the Navy Esports. So Goats and Glory, we did have them on a couple weeks ago. They played against the Air Force. They put up a solid showing, but Air Force, as we know, is just way too good to be beaten down. Coast Guard Gaming, I think, also might have gone up against the Air Force already, and Air Force is undefeated currently, but these two teams have pretty similar rankings that we were able to check out. They have pretty similar play styles, so this should be a very close match tonight. We might get our first 2-3 game series since the very first week of 2024 Warriors of the Rift. So, Bob, how excited are you for your first cast ever?
I'm extremely excited. I woke up this morning and survived off a lot of coffee. And that caffeine's wearing off, so I'm really depending on these games to keep me awake till the night.
Honestly, we should be in for a ride. So, as you all know, the AFDL is sponsored and is run entirely by volunteers. The AFDL provides military personnel around the world with a fun, competitive, family friendly way to interact and celebrate the commonalities of service members and their families, regardless of branch or nationality. As you are aware, we did have France on earlier today, and they played against UK veterans. So, this international camaraderie, all bonding together over a game that we all play together. I am not a veteran. I don't, Bob. I assume you're not a veteran either.
I am not.
We are not veterans, but we still all share the same passion, competitive League of Legends, and playing with friends. If you would like to help support the AFDL and make more of these events possible, you can click the link below the stream or type !donate in the chat. We are also, I think last time I checked, just 8 subs away from our goal. So if you are unable to make the stream, subbing will also allow you to view the VOD after the game. So tonight with Coast Guard Gaming and Navy Esports. Bob, why don't you tell us a little bit about the Coast Guard?
Yeah. Coast Guard Gaming is a military esports community with a passion for camaraderie, personal growth, and inclusivity. Sorry.
You're all good.
Composed of active duty reservists and veterans with over 1,000 active members, they harness the power of gaming to build lasting connections and promote the well-being of Coast Guard personnel.
And Navy Esports program seeks to build trust, positive awareness, and opportunities for the Navy to engage with every American through a shared passion, esports. Goats and Glory is focused on training and competing with esports teams around the country as an essential part of the Navy's mission. So, the next patch cycle is tomorrow, but we are still on, I believe, patch 14.13. Bob, you've had more experience analyzing this than I have. What do you want to see from these teams? What do you think is the top meta pick that we're going to see in this draft?
So what I'm expecting are AP junglers for sure. AP junglers on this patch farm extremely fast. They can rush that Faded Ashes items. It does a ton of damage to all the jungle camps. And basically, the AP junglers can hit a camp, do most of its health, walk past it as it dies to Faded Ashes. So those champs can get very strong very quickly. Zyra, for example, has a 2-minute 40-second full clear.
Oh,
She can get down to the bot lane before the enemy jungler is finished with 4 camps.
I hate, you know me, Bob. You know I'm a Sejuani one trick. I hate Zyra. The clear is so good. The early game damage is ridiculous. And like you said, AP Jungle is going to be the focus. So, but we've already gotten an Elise taken off the board from Coast Guard as we wait for the rest of these bans to come through. We had Talia picked earlier today twice by the UK veterans. It wasn't that effective. But we are also going to get rid of the Skarner, the Karthus, and the Lux. So Karthus, one of those, another S tier pick. So we saw, I think it was almost 100% presence in pick ban, the LCS and the LEC this weekend.
Yeah, that's yet again another AP jungler power pick. In addition to that Karthus, we see that Skarner ban. Skarner arguably the strongest champion in the game, really taking Kassante's place as one of the most hated champions in the game as well. Just by the virtue of how much power that champion has, all that percent max health damage, that scaling off his own max health damage, just a ton of damage, a ton of early game power, and the ability to really turn games even in the late game with that.
So we have got confirmation from production. The third ban, I believe, for Coast Guard is Milio. And like you said, Skarner is now at one of the most disliked champions, unless you're Captain Flowers.
Yeah, shout out to Captain Flowers, an amazing caster, avid player of Skarner.
Oh yeah, the number one known Skarner player in the world, one of the few that would actually still play him when he was at, like, I believe, what was that, sub 1% pick rate?
Yeah.
Yeah, great times that Cap has had with Skarner. This is actually how I know Bob Penguin. We are both in the Captain Flowers Discord together. He is one of the better players that exists in that server. And I'm really thankful for him for stopping in tonight, or it would have been just me and probably Marielia again, who you had the cast earlier, and it was a show. It was a show, is all we can really say. But with the Milio pick and the Caitlyn now, I'm glad to see the Caitlyn gone, because we did see Caitlyn earlier today in game 1 of the EU series, and oh, it's disgustingly strong in the late game. The 4 crit items to 100% crit really gave her a buff. But we have our first picks in a brand, 3 AP champions, Brand for Coast Guard and Ari Seraphine for the Navy. So Seraphine support, we're going back to that meta? We're going back to the Enchanters?
It could be Seraphine support, but one of the strengths of Seraphine is she's a flex. She can take that AP carry role in the bot lane as well. Paired with
Very
Ari, Ari is a relatively low damage champion, so you're not really incentivized to buy that much MR outside of Mercs. Pair that with an AD jungler, and Seraphine can do a good chunk of damage, even if she's farming.
It does make a lot of sense. Brand, I did look at the patch notes for tomorrow. He is getting a healthy amount of nerfs. He has been an insane presence for pro and solo queue at all levels. Like you said earlier when you were talking about your AP junglers, Faded Ashes, you buy that on Brand in the bot lane as an AP carry, either AP carry or support. You hit one Comfort Gate, his E, and the entire wave is melted and your AD carry is chunked. But a Blitzcrank for support. So this might be a Blitz Brand bot lane. Graves in the jungle countering the Jarvan. So some spicy picks, not exactly meta picks, but we are going to get to see some spicy picks, and I want to see what Goats and Glory can do with this Jarvan if he can get proactive early.
Yeah, the Jarvan can definitely lock up Brand with that Cataclysm. The main issue with that is Jarvan the one locking Brand inside, or is Jarvan locked inside with the Brand? Because remember, that Pyroclasm can bounce between the Jarvan and the Brand repeatedly, really proccing that Brand passive extremely quickly.
I remember when they made that change and Brand just jumped in win rate. They had to obviously make damage adjustments, but Brand just turned in from a champion that was like, oh, he's really only good in team fights, to I can just 1v1 now, because as long as I'm close to you, if I have Rylai's, it can just bounce from me back to you. We are going to get a lot of AD carry bans here. We are really targeting Junk and Tech here. The Jhin, Vayne, Ashe, and Jinx. So a lot of long-range champs taken off the board, as well as the Caitlyn. So I think we're probably going to end up seeing a Draven here.
Yeah, that definitely is a champion that's pretty strong. Draven can build either Bloodthirster first or go into a more lethality-oriented build with Collector. His stand aside can easily interrupt the Jarvan Flag and Drag, as well as doing a good amount of damage every auto to Seraphine. So I think it's possible that we'll see that come out.
Another champ that we don't really see that much anymore, that I thought, given the crit changes, would actually have a spike in pro play and like higher rank solo queue, is Samira. Don't exactly see Samira that much, but it is confirmed, we are going to get a Brand Blitz bot lane against the Ezreal Seraphine. So it is going to be support Seraphine, Mord versus Ornn in the top. That seems to be pretty much a staple of the AFDL, is Mord Ornn is either banned or picked by both sides. Kind of a staple matchup in the top lane. Vex and Graves are the surprise picks for the Coast Guard. Something you don't see that often anymore, but I like Vex with the high mobility of Ari, proccing the Vex passive, getting that extra little bit of damage. So what do you make of these drafts here?
Yeah, the way I see it, Coast Guard Gaming has 2 AP carries. So in this case, Goats and Glory is very incentivized to build Merc Treads. They're very incentivized to build Amar, but that means that Graves can come in and possibly one-shot some champions. Most of the champions on Goats and Glory are relatively squishy. If an Ari, an Ezreal, or a Seraphine walk into a bush, and that Graves is there, they can be gone in less than a second.
Not even discounting the Graves, the Blitzcrank, those hooks from far range, pulling any of these squishies in. And we're discounting one major player here on the Coast Guard. It's the Ornn. It's the tank, bruiser, assassin, mage, whatever he wants to be on a given day. he's still just as strong as ever. In this late game, it feels like this is both teams are aiming for this to go late game. The Coast Guard, no matter where the gold is, once those Ornn items start coming in, that's 1,000 gold worth of stats just put into each player's pocket over time.
Yeah, that definitely can put the Vex over that one-shot threshold for a lot of these champions as well. That Ornn
Mm-hmm.
pairs really well with that Vex, just providing that long-range pick to enable Vex to land a free ultimate. And once that Vex ult gets rolling, that can be a lot of kills in a short period of time.
Absolutely. So we're looking at the Graves, the Vex, and the Brand for Coast Guard. For Goats and Glory, though, if Mordekaiser can get onto anyone really from the Coast Guard, I don't see anyone that really kills him inside the Death Realm unless they're super fed.
Yeah, that's definitely the case, but I think all of the champions on Coast Guard side have a decent chance at surviving that death realm. There's a lot of CC on the Vex, the Brand. The Graves can dash out of those Ornn skill shots. Sorry, that those Mordekaiser skill shots, and the
Mm-hmm.
Ornn himself should be tanky enough to survive. So we'll see. I think the Mordekaiser is more useful as a tool to really pull someone important out of that fight. Say Vex ults in, lands and immediately gets Mordekaiser ulted, then that's one less thing to worry about for the squishies on Goats and Glory.
Absolutely, but we have also seen a lot of these top laners in the FDL know how to utilize the Ornn Unstoppable with the Bellows Breath, and we have seen it cancel at least one Mordekaiser ult. So, pretty nice to have Unstoppable on a basic ability. But so the other side for the Navy, how do you see this comp executing? Because it looks like the Coast Guard just has a much better team fight. What does the Navy have to do to get that edge over the Coast Guard?
So the key strengths on the Navy are definitely that Ari and that Ezreal. Both of these carries are extremely slippery. They're not the highest damage in the game right now, but that Ezreal handily outranges everyone.
Yeah, absolutely. And we are going to get into game one here of the Coast Guard versus Goats and Glory Navy Esports. Oh, a lot of bush action here. The first games that we had today, we had a pretty standard 5 point setup in game one. Game two, we did get this a little bit of a spicy invade, but nothing really interesting happening here. And in the meantime, while we're waiting for the minions to spawn, you guys in chat can predict with your channel points of who you think takes game one, Coast Guard versus the Navy. So at this point, I really think it just goes to the Coast Guard. I like their team comp much better. I think their players are, while the rank discrepancy is evident in mid, it's pretty balanced across the rest of the team. But I really just I like this comp so much more. They have they there's only one real AD threat, but that AD threat is kind of massive.
Yeah, we'll see how well this Graves farms up. Currently starting the Raptors solo. See how that Graves paths. Maybe they'll go top and try to make a play at that Ornn Mordekaiser lane. Try to turn that lane a bit early with see if Ornn can grab an E and knock up Mord and provide some earlier setup.
So Foos is hiding in the bush, looking for a little bit of a cheeky play here. He's not going to be able to find it. Did throw the hook, but he did not get anything in return for it. Pretty much standard farming here. No real cheeky stuff. We do have a couple of deep wards for the Coast Guard. They do have the ward on the Raptor pit that will spot out the Jarvan in a second after he's done clearing the wolves up here.
Yeah, definitely. I don't really expect to see too much action happening in any of the lanes early. The Navy on the Navy side in bot lane, they don't really have the tools to start a fight. Whereas on the Coast Guard side, they do have the tools to start a fight, but they definitely lose that all in early, having no marksmen themselves.
The Death's Claw will pull Koi Fish. Eviscerate pops the shield, is going to trade a good bit of damage back. Again, like you said, there is not much engage for the Navy, and if the Blitzcrank hook misses, there's no way to engage for the Coast Guard. we are getting a little bit of a cheeky invade here. Jarvan is about to meet Graves at the blue side blue buff. We are going to get a little bit of action here. It is a little bit running away, but we're back into it, just hiding around that blue buff, knowing Graves' bullets can't go through. The Flag and Drag connects, the smites go down. Graves is able to secure it. The Death's Claw will hit one, but he's so low. Graves is killed for first blood. Mind gets the first kill in a solo kill. Ornn takes the blast cone over after flashing, is able to escape with his life. And a great invade for Mind turns into a solo kill.
Yeah, that was a really good play by Mind, just finding that gap in the Coast Guard's defenses. And Ornn's lane was being pushed in, wasn't able to get there as fast as the Mordekaiser, had to burn Flash even to survive, whereas Mordekaiser still has Flash.
And Ornn also did burn the TP. Mordekaiser hasn't even left lane. No reason for him to feel any bit threatened right now. Still very healthy and ready to fight. So a good smite then from a good delay on the smite from the Jarvan is able to pick up the blue buff there as we got more fighting in mid. Mind was hit by the smoke screen, but Ninetales steps a little bit too far. Mind picks up another kill. The charm goes wide. Graves is trying to get the return kill. Mind doesn't have the flash. Oh, the lance goes through the Graves, but he's not going to be able to grab it. Oh, he dashes away just barely. The Seraphine gets there in time, hits with the double root. The charm goes wide again. Wow. No extra kill, but that's 2 kills to the Jarvan. A pickup on the Seraphine is those buffs are still active now. Seraphine should have double buffs, so this can start to be a very oppressive bot lane for the Navy. You can just auto attack and just constantly throw those Seraphine abilities down. This is going to be very hard for this bot lane to come back from this if the Navy can utilize it correctly.
Yeah, for sure. As we can see, Junk is currently down a good amount of CS, but what's key is that Junk does have that Faded Ashes in their inventory.
Yeah, so, he's a full champion now.
Yeah, definitely.
I'm down 15 CS, but I have this item that makes me 1.5 champions.
Yeah, we can definitely expect to see this brand press Q on a minion and then press E on that minion and really spread that Faded Ashes passive throughout the lane very quickly.
So Edge coming up on 6 minutes here, and the Navy is taking advantage of this pressure, and they are just going to take this dragon. The Grubs have also spawned at the same time. Graves is heading up that way, but I don't really know if he's going to be able to make it in time. Seraphine is going to take the back. Jarvan is picking onto Grubs, so it looks like he's going to go straight there. I mean, this Jarvan has a pickaxe and 2 long swords. Yeah. He's got so much more damage than this Graves. So, yeah, you have the serrated Dirk, but you don't have anything else. Irie goes a little bit too far, misses the charm, takes a big chunk of damage from Ninetales on the way out. Unfortunate, but the Ariel blown, I don't think they want to go for this fight anymore. I don't think they're going to leave the Grubs because you're down a mid laner with all. I mean, Ninetales had no damage in return, and she still has her ult.
Yeah, I think the key thing here is that Ornn is once again stuck under tower to this Mordekaiser.
Charm does connect.
Unable to really contribute to a fight. So we can see this Graves come in and maybe do a chunk of damage, but as soon as that Mordekaiser gets there, well, Mord still has Flash. So
it doesn't even matter. Ninetales got a little bit too greedy, threw the Vex ult out. Once it got there, she realized, oh, I'm in not a good spot. So that is 2 Grubs to the Navy, only 1 for the Coast Guard, and Junkguard is taking a massive chunk of damage. Well, oh no, Crown! Oh, you got a little greedy there. You're lucky to escape with your life. An expert combination of spells from Baymax and Crown, but does unfortunately leave the brand alive. Koifish is trying to fight Mord inside of the Death Realm, does call out the Ornhorn, but Eviscerate is taking almost no damage in return. No mana for the follow-up from Koi, and now the wave is just pushing into Eviscerate, and he is happy with this. Sitting with almost going to be a 10 CS lead after this wave. Ornn does not have TP, so, oh, Mind. Mind, you are a little bit too far in, my friend. Nozdorm jumps over the wall. The Flack and Drag connects onto Ninetales. A lot of damage is being traded. Irie does pop the ult, tries to move out of the way. First Cataclysm goes down. Nozdorm is running away, but the Lance goes through his body, sends Graves to the grave, and a double kill for the Jarvan.
Yeah. The Coast Guard took that fight without the Vex having ult, so they didn't quite have the damage to kill that Ahri before the Jarvan managed to get into it. And that means they are down another couple of kills.
So it looks like from the sequence of events, there's a 3,000 gold lead for the Navy now, and it looks like everything is just kind of like the Coast Guard is basically playing like, we are down, we need to start making plays to get back in this game, but these plays are not the plays to be made.
Yeah, that's definitely the case. I mean, they really struggle to get back into the game here because their team sort of hinges on Graves and Vex having enough damage to really just one-shot someone. But now that both Graves and Vex are behind, they don't have that damage anymore.
Even late game, if they do end up getting the damage by that point, there's so much damage on the Ezreal, the Mordekaiser, and the Jarvan that they're just going to be able to blow someone up. But it looks like Baymax is about to get caught here. Fooz does not throw the hook. A little bit scared, potentially. They don't know where the Jarvan is, so the threat of that 4-1 Jarvan hangs over the entirety of the Coast Guard.
To start to see the Jarvan just finish their full clear. Or maybe going to affect top, maybe going to find a recall before Grubs and Dragon are about to spawn in around a minute or so. Looks like we're going for that gank top.
Yeah, Koi Fish tries to dash away, but the Bell's Breath and the Ornhorn does nothing. Mind is going to dive this. Oh no, Mind goes a bit too far. The Swag Flag is not enough damage. The Bell's Breath finishes him off, and Mind get a little bit too greedy. That might be the key to what they need. That shutdown onto a Jarvan, that's about 400 extra gold into the Ornn's pocket. Recovers that CS difference, and oh, that was definitely not the play, but it doesn't matter. Irie is going in, misses the charm again. Another fear connects. Nozdorm is over the wall. Ninetales misses after taking the ultimate. Ooh, a lot of missed skill shots in mid today. This is not what I was expecting.
Yeah, mid lane and the game as a whole is a little bit scrappy, but I think the key thing here is that very fed Jarvan burned flash and ultimate, and gave up their shutdown right before both the dragon and the second set of grubs are spawning. But I don't know how much it matters because that's a full eclipse.
I don't really think it matters that much. Yeah, full Eclipse, full Merc treads as well. If Brand or Vex tries to engage on Jarvan, he's got the extra tenacity, the extra magic resist to just shrug it all off, and the damage to return it. Hex Flash goes over, Crown is in a bad spot, does not buffer correctly, and the Fooz is just stuck in a bad spot. Fear goes through to Baymax, and a lot of damage. Junkyard Sniper is over the wall, and he's looking for a lot of damage. Crown is chunked down to just over 300 health, but that will mean that the Navy will take that kill onto Fooz and start up the Dragon. An Ocean Dragon going to be completed at 12 minutes. We're looking at a 23-minute soul here.
Yeah, and I think the path to that soul is pretty clear. There's no real way for the Coast Guard to get back into the game other than maybe a very huge Brand ult alongside Vex resets in some mid-game team fight.
So while the Navy is taking the Dragon, Ornn is trying to finish off the grubs. He was able to grab at least one so far. Jarvan's not going to go meet up with him, so they are going to give up all three, it looks like. If they can kill him quick enough, Smite goes down. That is at least 3 this second round. Koi is so low. Oh, you overstayed, my friend. The Cataclysm goes down. Ornn is sent back, and Mind is going a little bit too far. Jumping around, the Ahri is dashing forward. The charm did go out, and it did not connect. Irie's missing those charms like crazy, but it doesn't matter. The combined collapse of the Navy leads to the second kill for Ahri, and a 46 CS lead over this Vex is Diamond 3 and has a 50 CS difference now to a Silver 3.
Yeah, that is it's a little bit of a struggle in the mid lane. Basically, after that invade in the jungle that we saw at level 3, and then Jarvan immediately came and burned Vex's flash, and then they lost a fight. So this Vex has been struggling to get back into the game. Uh, don't even the Vex doesn't even have an item where while Ari is currently going on 2.
Jarvan is able to pick up that last Void Grub. That is 3 for both teams now. Rylai's was completed for Mordekaiser, so anytime Ornn tries to fight, that extra slow will be there to keep him locked inside of the Metal Storm. That percent max health damage, along with bonus movement speed for the Mordekaiser. So this Mordekaiser is gonna be looking pretty dangerous coming up here, but aside from the Mordekaiser, just look at the Jarvan. 5, 2, and 4, an Eclipse and a Pickaxe. But the Malignance for the Ahri just means she's going to be throwing those ults whenever she can now.
Yeah, the Ahri is currently extremely dangerous. She can ult whenever she wants, fish with those charms. Even if most of them don't hit, one is bound to, and that will likely be a kill as long as the Ahri has someone behind her.
Absolutely. The Hollow Radiance picked up for the Ornn. I love this item against AP top lane, or just like an AP heavy team, especially when they have good wave clear. The AoE explosion on minion kill is just ridiculously strong, but it doesn't matter. Ninetales is caught again. Mind Cataclysms. There's no flash for Ninetales to get out. The charm connects this time, and Eerie sets up the 6th kill for Jarvan. But I don't know. Mind is just in the right space at the weird time.
Yeah, mine there was looking for some camps and some vision in the red side jungle.
Oh
Here's
no.
another fight.
Is going to be able to get over the wall with the Blast Comb. Nas just barely escaping. He must have been panicking a little there. There's only 2 flashes available on the entire Coast Guard team, and it's the Ornn and the Brand. So all of these other 2 primary targets, the Vex and the Graves, they are just going to be under constant pressure, knowing they can't get away from this insanely strong Jarvan.
This Jarvan is really taking control of the game and of Nas's jungle.
Yes, it is. The Ornn Horn comes out, but the Encore as well stops Koi from being able to re-engage, but the Flag and Drag hits just barely on the edge. Nosdorm is about to fall. Ninetales comes in with the Vex ult. The double kill from Mind, and Ninetales is stuck in a really bad spot. The Death's Claw does not connect onto Junkyard Sniper, but Mind is about to dive the turret, and this time it's successful. A triple kill for him as Junkyard is stuck in the Death Realm. The Rylai's keeps the Brand right on top of Eviscerate. And this is a 14-2 game with Jarvan 100% kill participation.
Yeah, this Jarvan's really taking control of the game. The Navy's in a commanding position. I think the only thing you have to complain about when it came to that play was Baron hasn't spawned yet. It's still 3.5 minutes away.
This is just absolutely brutal. 8,000 gold, just under 17 minutes. Oh my gosh, Jarvan's going to be able to back and going to have another full item. Probably has enough to get a full item right now.
Yeah, this Jarvan will probably have 2 items before the Vex or Graves have 1.
So. Jarvan will have more items himself than Graves and Vex combined. But Foos is not in a good spot. He has the flash to get out, does use it. So a good escape there, but there's no additional engage. Ornn is stuck in the top lane. There's no way for him to get down, and Mind and the Navy are going to start up this dragon. Mountain Soul against this heavy damage team is perfect. Hook connects onto Baymax, and she is just absolutely blown up. The kill does go to Blitzcrank, though. Not the priority you want to be giving the gold to, but Mind is just going to be able to smite this down and run away. Foos is not in a good spot. The charm connects, and he is kissed to death. Eerie is dashing over, jumping around. The Malignance is proccing, Oh, and Crown snipes the Junkyard Sniper.
Yeah, you know the game's in a bad spot when the charm connects and you're not worried about the CC, you're worried about the damage.
Yeah, absolutely. A Lich Bane and Malignance completed, and the Herald Charge will come through. A lot of damage. The Vex Q interrupts the dash. Half health on the Jarvan, so might be getting a little scared. The hook connects, but there's almost no follow-up. The Vex Q misses. The ult goes through. Foos is killed by Crown, but Ninetales finally takes the dash through. Nosdorm is finally getting some return damage. The charm connects. Ornn, Bellows Breath, and the Pillar, they both hit, but right now Koi is stuck in the Death Realm. There is no tank for the Coast Guard, and Nosdorm goes a little bit too far. Baymax finishes off the Koi Fish. That is a sentence I never thought I'd say. That is, it's just a funny sentence. Like, if you told someone back when Big Hero 6, when that movie came out, they'd say Baymax killed a Koi Fish, they'd look at you like you're absolutely insane.
Yeah. Thankfully for that Seraphine, that those echoes do have a little bit of damage behind them.
Echoes of Helia, yes. So, oh my gosh, this is a 9-3-8 Jarvan, a 3-0-8 Ahri, who was able to really pick up after that early game. It was looking a little shaky, a lot of blows being traded mid, but he was not looking good with those charms.
Yeah, but again, the charms don't matter when you can kill someone with just W and ult.
Yes, the charm connects there. Junkyard Sniper falls again, and this Navy team is just running over the Coast Guard. It is absolutely crazy. Mind is just running down. Foos takes more turret shots, but it doesn't even matter. Oh no, the Cataclysm isn't there, but Koi Fish has to use the Bell's Breath to get any amount of resistance or unstoppability, but it doesn't matter. You can't unstoppable death. Ninetale getting a lot of damage from the Ezreal, from Crown's Ezreal here. A lot of shots being fired, missed all of them. Eerie is not in a good spot. He somehow connects onto the charm.
Wow.
Backs up against the turret though, and the Graves grenade absolutely eviscerates Eerie. The pull over the wall, and Mind is stuck in a bad spot. Has so much damage though. Takes a full combo from Brand and doesn't even go to half health.
Yeah, the Jarvan is tanky, but this Graves now has IE. Now it's got the shutdown on Mind earlier, and just now got the shutdowns on Eerie and Crown. So we'll see if this Graves can maybe pull the game back. Again, there's very little armor being built on the side of the Navy. Only really those tabbies, those plated steel caps on the Mordekaiser. So it's possible that this Graves can do some damage if we keep seeing the Navy misplay like they just did. You know, Ezreal dashing forward and inside the Coast Guard's base, Ahri trying to pick up the kill on that Graves, but not quite managing to hit all of her skill shots.
But I mean, Graves with Collector IE is a gross combo. Those extra shots being fired on every crit, as well as the increased damage. So the only reason I think the Navy was taking these kind of trades right there is because there was no real objective that they were concerned about losing. Sure, the Baron spawn, but I mean, there's not the only real DPS for the Coast Guard is the Brand, and they're not that concerned about it when you still have the Mordekaiser up, as long as you can lock out the Graves. Charm, it doesn't matter. Charm connects. Foos is here, is half health, does hit the hook onto Eerie. She's dashing away and will get out. The Encore hits 3, a great place. Encore, Koi Fish goes forward. The Ornhorn is called, and Seraphine is about to get blown up, but Mind's in the backside. The Cataclysm hits 2. He picks up a double, and Mind is going forward. Flag and Drag misses on the Nords as Ninetale goes back in. Triple kill for the Jarvan, and Junkyard Sniper is left alone. Move speed bonus from the Ahri is not going to be able to finish him off, but the Charm will. 3 for the Jarvan, 2 for the Ahri, and ace for 1.
Yeah. That was quite the blowout fight. It started off looking pretty good for the Coast Guard. It looked like they might have gotten a pick on that Ahri, but those Graves autos, they're dodgeable. That Ahri dashed out of a couple of autos there.
Yeah, it's so it's so fun just watching a Graves, like, you know the Graves is strong, and you just outplay him because you were just mobile. You were just super mobile. It's
Yeah,
disgusting.
that or walking around a minion wave or a tower. It's always fun to see that happen. But in the meantime, the Navy is taking this Baron. There is no possible way that the Coast Guard can contest it. Though they might be able to contest this dragon. Once again, they already got hooked.
Yeah. Ari gets hooked, but she's got 3 flashes on like a 40-second cooldown after picking up the Malignant. The Dragon Soul is spawned here, a Mountain Soul this early. 24.5-minute potential takedown. Foos just throws out the hook, doesn't connect to anything. The Cataclysm goes in. Mind gets knocked up, but the True Shot Barrage over 2, and Nas is popped. He is very low now, has to smite the Krugs, try to kill those quickly to heal up. Is able to heal up a good bit, but your smite is coming right back up, but this is still a very dangerous game for Nas. Charm does connect. Baymax hits the Encore, but is blown up. Koifish is on top of Mind. He is stuck in a bad spot, but he still gets the smite down. He's still able to secure the Dragon Soul. Eviscerate is on top of Sniper. Oh, this is actually a decent looking fight, but another flash from Crown dodges from the Graves autos. Eviscerate's on the back line, slowing up Ninetales, and he is just gonna run her down. The Ari dashes around, a good knockup from Koifish, and it is only the top laners left alive after a chaotic fight, but a good smite from Mind secures the Mountain Soul.
Yeah, and that Mountain Soul is going to make Graves' job a lot harder. Nas is strong. Nas has 8 kills, 3 items. But once again, that fight we saw Ezreal managing to flash out of a Graves auto.
That gets so different, especially that Ezreal would have died. Crowd would have died to those autos. But oh my gosh, 14-4 and 2 Jarvan, and but the Ornn items are starting to come in. So if they can hold off just a little bit longer, if you can find a good engage after right when the Elder Dragon spawns, if you can win a fight there and take Elder or smite steal it, you might have a way back into this game.
Yeah, we saw there that because Jarvan had no ulti at the start of that fight, Ahri wasn't exactly there, and Seraphine was pulled over the wall right as Ahri got there and landed a charm on Blitz. The fight actually went decently well for the Coast Guard. It's sad that they lost the smite, but these fights can be competitive, especially if someone is caught like this.
But Mind, just right on the edge of the wall, is able to flash over. There's a lot of vision, though. He's able to flag and drag away that extra ability haste from the Shojin and the Black Cleaver. It just means he is very, very slippery. A Hex Drinker there as well, trying to counteract a little bit more of that magic damage. But again, there is very little armor built, and Graves is a threat.
Yeah, Graves is doing quite close to true damage. That Mountain Drake probably preventing it, but
the only armor built on the entire Navy side is just a Ninja Tabby, but the charm, max range charm connects onto Foos, and he is going to fall. Tries to use the static field to get a little bit of damage down, as well as the shields, but it doesn't matter. Nas is just in there. He is knocked up, and Jarvan, oh my god, the Triumph and the Seraphine heals puts him back. He was at like 200-300 health, and he's back up to half health. Oh, that is so disgusting.
Nas dying there is pretty unfortunate for the Coast Guard, but it looks like they will be able to hold on. In these types of situations, I'd really like to see the Navy pushing the side lanes in. But
that's exactly what I was just thinking. I mean, all you have is the mid lane. This is the only avenue you have, and Mind is going to fall. Junkyard Sniper does a ton of damage. Baymax takes so much, but the Vex ult just barely misses. That could have been another kill for Ninetales. 0, 8, and 10 on the Vex, and like you said, yeah, the side waves, there is 1,250 gold just waiting to be picked up by the Navy in both of these side lane inner turrets. I don't see why you're forcing mid. The inhib is down. You have the time to go to these side waves, push them in, collect that CS, get that extra bit of pressure. You don't need to team fight. You can just 1-3-1. But Eerie, he threw the charm into one of the mini Krugs, so no additional engage there. We will see Eviscerate going to push top because the entirety of Coast Guard have to respond to wherever the majority of the Goats and Glory players are. And right now that was bot lane. As you see, they're all moving up to deal with this Mordekaiser, who's just going to be able to run away if he's smart.
Yeah. Or might not even need to run away. Might be able to press R and steal someone's stats.
Steal someone's stats, try to give a little bonk in the death realm.
Yeah. We'll see, however, what happens when this Baron spawns, because I think this Baron's realistically the Coast Guard's last chance to get into this game. If they lose the Baron, I don't think they'll get the Elder unless Mine decides to once again dive the Nexus turrets without a minion wave.
I mean, seeing how he's played literally the rest of the game, it would not surprise me.
Yeah, right as I say it, huh?
Oh my gosh. See? But they're stuck in there. Koifish with a good charge is able to knock out a bit of the wall, but they tried to use that for escape. It doesn't matter. Just 66% of the Coast Guard's kills sit on just Graves. That's where all their gold is concentrated right now. So without Graves, they have almost no hope of winning a fight.
Yeah, we'll see this Baron go down, probably without a contest, and likely the Elder will follow suit.
Absolutely.
But, maybe there's once again good brand ult, Vex resets, and a lot of Graves damage. There's still a chance, right? It's looking bleak, incredibly bleak, but it's not.
This is a 95% crit Graves, who's in the death realm, absolutely knocking Eviscerate down. That's a 1v1. Mord wanted that fight, takes Graves to the death realm, and Graves says absolutely not.
Yeah, that's a little too much crit for Mordekaiser to handle. We can see Mordekaiser speccing to more armor, but that just means they're vulnerable to that brand damage as well.
Other than, I mean, you do get the bonus resistances, but it's only, I believe, like 8% when you take the mountain. It's 4% per mountain dragon. Koifish is forced to flash away. The Ornhorn does come out, will not provide enough of a follow-up, but Eerie picks up Ninetales. Foos gets knocked up and taken down. Eerie is actually hitting the charms like a madman. Oh my gosh, Nozdorm tries to get something back, but that is an ace 4-2, and this should be the end of the game. The Navy taking game one in I wouldn't say dominant fashion. If given the gold lead and the kill lead, this game probably should have ended about 10 minutes ago. It got a little cocky there. There was potential for the Coast Guard to come back, but the Navy will take game one off of the back of a great Jarvan performance from Mine.
Yeah, definitely. That game was a little rough for the Coast Guard there. After that level 3 invade, they didn't really have that many options to go with. I mean, there's no real way to fight in the bot lane because Ezreal and Seraphine have push always, and their Graves, sort of their key member, the physical damage on that team was put pretty far behind with those couple of skirmishes.
I did want to see better from Ninetales. I know she's probably upset with her performance, but I don't think the Vex had a single kill that entire game. And knowing that she is Diamond 3, that she should have absolutely stomped this Ahri, is disappointing. I was hoping to see something a little better from Ninetales. I expected the rest of the map to be kind of skewed towards the Navy, and that the Ninetales could have actually picked up that slack and just absolutely done a massive amount of damage to bring it back. But hopefully we can see something better in game 2 after we come back from this short break. Are we not going to break yet?
I think the main thing I want to see from the Coast Guard is I want them to have a solid plan coming into the game. I think having Graves solo start Raptors there is fine, but when your Ornn is getting pulled in, you need that Graves to not be top lane while that Ornn is under his tower, so that Mordekaiser can just walk all over your jungle alongside the Jarvan, right?
Yeah. So we did get confirmation from production. We are side swapping. Navy is going to blue side and Coast Guard is going to red. And I remember when I did say for the first game that the Navy was taking red side, you were like, wait, they won the coin toss? They took red side. So yeah, we're getting into that counter pick meta. And then also for chat, I did just say Bob did a great job on game one, and I just wanted to ask him what the Coast Guard should change up for game two so we can bring it to a game three. Unfortunately, we were muted, so nothing really too interesting, just pretty much. And then after the mute came on, he answered the question. So we are getting into picks and bans here. Ghosts and Glory, like I said, the Navy on the blue side, Coast Guard getting that counter pick for red, and we actually did not get to see AP junglers last game. We had 2 AD junglers, and you were really looking forward to those AP junglers like a Talia, a Zyra, but we are not going to get a Jarvan this game. We really don't want mine to have his... I believe, actually, production, correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure week 1 we saw Mind on the Elise, and he just absolutely popped off. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, so the Lux and the Caitlyn also taken away from the Coast Guard. So it looks like Coast Guard is just going to try to ban Mind's comfort picks here. And yeah, pretty standard from Goats and Glory. But what spicy picks do you want to see? Like, unconventional, non-meta, off lane, what do you want to see?
If anything, I want to see a Vayne pick somewhere. If we're seeing Mordekaiser and Ornn picked in the top lane, like these sort of beefy tanks with no real way to get on a Vayne, if one of these top laners plays Vayne, I want to see that. And if they have the confidence to blind it, I'm also down, because I do remember seeing a Vayne ban last game.
Yes, we did have a Vayne ban last game. We are not going to see the Karthus from Nas this game. Another AP dominant jungler. I did also mention to you Bremsy from the Coast Guard, or not the Coast Guard, the Air Force. Disgusting Vayne player. I believe the last series when I had them last week, they banned 4 top laners and they still couldn't pinch his jungle pool. I mean his top lane pool. He is a dominant force, but I don't think we're going to see that much Vayne this game, aside from the first ban, but I'm hoping I'm wrong. I love seeing a Vayne pop off. Reminds me of Uzi back in the season 3 days. I don't know if you were playing back then, but that's when I started watching LOL esports.
Yeah, I remember watching Double Vayne, Gosu's Vayne, Uzi at Worlds on Vayne. Just a lot of well-known Vayne players back then.
Oh yeah. I forgot about Gosu.
Yeah. Unfortunately, right now, Vayne's a top laner, and I'm sure you've been facing her.
I have been destroying them. Every Vayne top lane I play against has no idea how to play Vayne top lane, and it feels so good. It feels so good, like, I'm a tank, you're supposed to kill me, and I kill you. Bob's well aware of my history as a Sejuani one-trick.
Yeah, I can see how that matchup's supposed to go. I'm glad you've been finding success.
I'm built different. I was number 5 Sejuani in North America split 1 this year. I have not played that much this second split. I've been mixing it up and playing TFT, a little bit of Valorant, but I hit Diamond in just over 30 games, and I haven't really done much else. We are going to see the Tristana, Jinx, and Ahri. So we're more than likely going to get Tristana, Ahri in the mid lane. And I understand Tristana's meta. I understand she's good. God, I hate dealing with her. I hate pro games when they have Tristana. I'm like,
yeah.
So you just want to have like a dominant lane. You just want to scale to late game earlier. Just, oh my God. Every time I see Tristana, it is never a skill. It's never skill. It's always just like, I'm going to shoot my gun.
Yeah, main thing with Tristana is one, she's AD, she pushes, and she's pretty good in the mid lane 1v1. So what she does is she just pushes her lane and enables her fast farming AP jungler to come out and clear the enemy jungle camps too, because that Tristana will get prio. Ahri, I mean Ahri's a decent champion, but Ahri really can't match her in terms of wave clear.
So something I do want to see potentially from the Navy, if we can get a Talia lock in for Mind, we might be able to see that combination of Talia's Unraveled Earth and Tristana's Buster Shot pushing someone over the Unraveled Earth and setting up that stun for an easy seismic shove. I'd like to see that combination here because Talia, very strong AP jungler, like you said, you need that AP damage to be present so you're not easily um, built against. You don't have like the other team doesn't have to stack one resistance, but the Talia does seem to be like that open AP jungle pick right now.
Yeah, I also think that Talia is doubly good because she's good against both the high mobility dashes of the Ahri and the relatively mobile Jinx. I mean, she really brings that pick to the team that can stop the Ahri from getting away, that can punish the Jinx for mispositioning. With those basically global Talia ults and
You got your wish.
great.
Maokai. So the AP jungler for Mind is the Maokai, so not a mechanically intense champion, but we will see more than likely the Vayne top lane against Renekton. Oh god, Renekton's gonna get absolutely curb stomped, isn't he?
That's not always the case because I think the key thing in this matchup is if Coast Guard can get their jungler up to the top lane relatively early or around level 6 before that Renekton really falls too far behind in a 1v1, that Renekton can flash on that Vayne, stun her for a solid 1.5 seconds, and that Vayne can die very easily to that empowered stun damage. So we'll see if they do manage to make something happen up there.
Yes, the empowered stun damage in Vayne having, I believe, the second or third lowest. I believe we talked about this last week when we had the Air Force. I mentioned this last week when we had the Air Force on. I believe it's the third lowest base health in the entire game. Very squishy, very easy to kill pre-6, or really pre-11. Once you
Yeah.
get that fully max tumble and you have that 1 second cooldown, but we also have an echo. So oh, that
Yeah.
might be a Vayne threat. I am interested to see what the Navy is doing here. I want. Oh, production has told us we have no idea. Oh,
Huh.
they are gonna ego this. Oh no. So is this gonna be a Vayne Thresh bot lane, Tristana top, Echo mid?
I can't tell. I mean, that Echo can go jungle, it can go mid. It might be an Echo bot lane for fun.
Oh,
I'm
jeez,
not,
this
you
is
know,
this
you
is
can't
something
really you can't really
special.
count that out. But
Oh my god!
it might be Thresh top.
Oh, oh, what are they doing? Oh my gosh. Okay, Eviscerate, I know you're in the chat. What the heck are you doing? You're horrifying me. Oh, jeez. So, Thresh top against Renekton, Tristana mid, Ari, Vayne Maokai versus Nautilus Jinx. Okay, I give the bot lane to Coast Guard on this one.
Yeah,
I,
I think
I if Nautilus gets on top of Vayne, the Maokai, yeah, you have a lot of CC to disengage, but Jinx can layer the Flame Chompers right on top of her, keep her locked up long enough, and she is not going to be able to get away. This is about a solid 2.5 seconds of CC.
yeah. I think I give the game to Coast Guard. I'm very Coast Guard favor this game. Uh, I think their comp is all about getting Jinx and Ahri those resets, and they definitely have the tools to get those resets. They have
Absolutely.
Viol, Renekton W, they have Nautilus ult, they have the Charm, they have the Hook. A lot of tools to get that initial kill and have Ahri and Jinx really pop off in a team fight. Whereas on Goats and Glory, I mean, you could say that Thresh wins that top lane matchup on paper. Thresh can flay away the Renekton, can hook the Renekton, but Thresh also has about a quarter of Renekton's damage on paper as well. So
Unless this is an AD Thresh. AD Thresh, ridiculous amount of unseen damage, especially when you haven't been fighting him and he's able to charge up that bonus damage on the auto from his Flay, and then he just autos you and half your health is gone. But the other pick that I like here from the Coast Guard, specifically to counter this Vayne, is the Vi. That lockdown, that a cease and desist that will get locked onto Vayne, that will absolutely keep her locked down long enough that Nautilus can hit the depth charge on as well. Renekton can get on top of her and just CC chain this Vayne to death.
yeah, I think notably for Goats and Glory, they have frontliners, they have melee champs, but they don't really have frontliners who can survive all of that chain CC. So it's really not just about the Vayne. I mean, getting the Vayne is obviously the best case scenario, but you can get anyone, right?
Absolutely.
Any CC landing, someone's gone, right?
So we are going to get into game 2 here. Coast Guard on the blue side, Navy on the blue side, Coast Guard on the red. Eviscerate. Oh no, the hooks go, all the hooks miss, except finally Eviscerate is able to grab one. The first kill, Eerie picks up 1 kill, a double kill to the Tristana. Baymax is going to fall so close. Nas is not able to grab it. Crown picks up another. That is 3 kills to the Navy at level 1. Eviscerate is going to have the hookup. He fires it and he misses. Ninetales just barely gets away. Oh, that was violent.
Yeah, that's a 1,500 gold lead before minion spawn.
Oh no.
No. Maybe my prediction can just be thrown right out the window.
I said last game, I was like, oh, I really like the Coast Guard's comp, and then they got absolutely curb stomped. And now you're like, I like the Coast Guard this time, and they're getting absolutely curb stomped. Like, we just need to stop rooting for the Coast Guard, just flat out.
Okay.
All right, yeah, let's go Navy, woohoo! Oh my gosh, that was a very violent level 1 double longsword for Tristana to start early, and boots for the Vayne. Just getting that extra little bit of mobility will really help in this skill shot heavy lane from the Coast Guard with the Jinx Zap and the Nautilus hook.
Yeah, speaking of skill shots, Thresh landing that hook onto Renekton at the level 1 was pretty key to how that went. On the other hand, also speaking of skill shots, Tristana doesn't really have skill shots. Tristana can just jump on that Ahri with those 2 longswords and stat check her.
Yeah, this will be an AD Thresh though. The Doran's Blade picked up. Now, the other bonus part about AD Thresh is his passive. Getting that extra little bit of AP, not really, the AP is kind of negligible, but the armor bonus, he's still going to be tanky. He's still going to be hard to kill by anyone that isn't Ahri, but the charm connects onto a minion. Eerie, great dodge from you, but Mind is trying to get in there. And Echo, a great pick for another skill check. Mind is looking to have a very strong game too.
Yeah, once again, we see an invade by Mind into Naz's jungle, and with that Tristana's prio, it'll be pretty difficult for Naz to really fight this.
Naz is putting a lot of damage in. Mind almost gets blown up. Ninetales has no flash, but Renekton is here. Koi Fish is trying to get in. The stun connects, and Mind will fall. Red buff goes over to Koi as Eerie is forced to rocket jump away. So red buff to the Renekton, but not going to be able to do much with the red buff. Aside from stay alive, that passive bonus health regen, he's not going to be able to get on top of this Thresh any day soon.
Yeah, I'm thinking Mind really expected Eerie to follow up a little sooner. That could really extended that fight, but...
Oh, no. Nautilus, the hook connects onto a minion, is stuck. Crown condemns him into a wall, and the last tick, Crown picks up his 2nd kill of the game. An early game Vayne passing the not the fallacies, but the shortcomings of early game Vayne. This is going to be a very tough kill, or tough win for the Coast Guard. The hook goes wide from Eviscerate as Koi Fish is stuck there. is inside of the parallel convergence, almost was able to run away, but the red buff will fall. Koifish gives over a kill to Eviscerate. The Thresh, first kill on the board, a CS lead for the Thresh as well. Red buff, this is going to be Eviscerate having a lot of fun with this one.
Yeah, we'll see if this fight breaks out.
Oh, Mind is trying to get there. Great lantern from Eviscerate. Pulls him inside of the parallel convergence. That extra shielding from the lantern and the parallel convergence allows him to escape. But Mind is feeling himself after game one, but you lose early to the Vi. And 2 auto attack resets, a lot of armor shred. So I think he's feeling himself a little too much.
Yeah, it's pretty sad for the Coast Guard there. In the span of basically a minute, the Navy picks up 2 kills, 1 kill in bot lane because that Nautilus still didn't have flash from the level 1. Another kill in top lane because Renekton's flash was burned during that mid fight. And they didn't get a kill back because that lantern saved Mind.
Very well done. This Navy is actually looking like a team that could contest the Air Force. Unfortunately, though, I think they've already played the Air Force, so we wouldn't get a rematch until the end of playoffs if we have playoffs. But if the Navy had played like this against that first game, against the Air Force in their series, oh, that would have been a much different series.
Right, we can see here both top laners are moving towards the grubs. Notably, both junglers are not. So we'll see what happens up here if either team decides to go for the grubs. I think the Navy would really like some grubs. They have Tristana. She makes great use of them.
I believe Thresh doesn't count as a melee champ, but Eerie gets hit by Ninetales' charm. Just rocket jumps away. Just the extreme safety of Tristana can be absolutely gross. And oh no, Fuz is not in a good spot. The Q miss. Nozdorm misses the Vault Breaker as well, is forced to flash away. Baymax is running after him. Wants to get that extra little bit of damage. Buster shot, or not the Buster shot. The Tristana E explodes, does not do enough to kill Nas, but that was almost a very, very bad fight. Eviscerate trying to fight back against Koi Fish, but this Renekton does not have enough damage to kill Thresh.
Nas getting those Raptors invaded once again, while bot lane is currently a freeze for the side of the Navy.
Oh, they're gonna fight this Renekton.
Oh yeah, they're really denying this Jinx a lot of farm with this freeze. This Vayne is 6, so the Coast Guard knows they can't find it all in. See what happens up here.
Koi Fish pops the Dominus, is trying to get that extra little bit of damage, but the prison from Eviscerate is set up. Mind is looking for it. Oh, and a nice flash, but he is going to fall to the turret shots. That minion was almost just in the perfect spot. A little bit of timing miscommunication from Eviscerate, but in the meantime, Nozdorm is going to take advantage of the jungler being topside and now dead. He's going to pick up the first dragon, the Cloud Dragon, for the Coast Guard.
Yeah, being able to get this dragon will be pretty huge because, I mean, last game the Navy got dragons very, very early. Got that, 20, 23, 24 minute soul. If the Coast Guard does get this dragon, they'll have a little more time to scale up with their Jinx. And late game, I mean, they do have Renekton and Vi, who aren't the strongest champions late game, but oh, here a fight starting.
A fight is starting here. Baymax is caught out. A great flash sidestep from Nas, who also was... Nas didn't flash, but he was very close to connecting to the Vault Breaker. Mind is in a pretty questionable spot. Does have the ult to reset, and he does. Oh my god! The explosion from the kill from Tristana is able to grab a double kill, and they are looking. Oh, Mind is so close. It was less than 50 health from killing this Jinx. He is hunting, and he is going to find her. It's a... Oh, no. Jinx is actually going to be able to complete the back. This is not not a replay of Arcane. I can't remember which episode it was. I believe it was episode 8 when they were fighting on the bridge.
I don't quite remember, but maybe I'll rewatch it in prep for season 2.
Oh, I have. Oh, you gotta Well, I have a feeling we're gonna end up having viewing parties in the Garden Discord before season 2 comes out.
Yeah, well, we'll see what happens. I mean, one thing to note is these grubs are still up. So
yeah, we will not get the second spawn of grubs this game, so only 3 as a max can be picked up for either team. No mites, so little bit of a bummer, that extra pushing power for these champions. Oh yeah, that was the question I wanted to ask. Thresh is not considered melee, correct?
I believe that's correct.
Okay, so that means he would get the halved damage from any void grubs that are picked up, but it's still, the AD Thresh is going to be able to do a lot of damage to these turrets.
Yeah, I would say I think the bigger threat to the Coast Guard's turrets is that Tristana. She's currently 4-0, has that extra 350 gold on her bounty, and she's probably about to get 3 grubs for herself. Baymax has been up here setting up some vision, so these grubs are going to be uncontested. We'll see if Nas with that ulti can maybe make a play bot. I would really like to see this Vayne get dove with this Nautilus ult and the Vayne ult and the Jinx ult. But maybe it's just a Raptors take.
Ooh, Ninetales hits the charm as Eerie jumped in. The bomb is going to explode, but there is no follow-up. So much damage. Ninetales did pop the ult. A lot of auto attacks ago. The Vault Breaker is there, and Eerie has no rocket jump to get away, like you said. No flash as well. So a nice shutdown. 650 gold into the Vi's pocket. Eviscerate is taking a decent bit of damage. The hook connects, and no additional follow-up, though. Mind is trying to avenge his teammate and is going to do a lot of damage. The ult is still there for Echo. He wants to take this fight. Knows he can. Oh, and a great ult from Mind. Dodges the Vault Breaker. No flash E combo like he had the last time he tried to fight someone super low. So he will just have to content himself with his camps, which have been taken by the Vi. Has to settle for the grubs down bot, but Crown right now, 22 CS lead, 2 kills, 4 assists. Is going to have that Blade of the Ruin King soon, so a very strong Vayne about to come online.
Yeah, this Vayne might be a little bit of an issue. During draft I said you don't have to target the Vayne, you can target someone else in the front line. But when Vayne is this far ahead, you kind of do have to target the Vayne, or else you use your abilities on someone else and she will clean up that fight.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I think the main thing here is we really need to see how that top lane plays out, because even though Thresh got a lot of advantages early on, Eviscerate is still being pushed in pretty consistently by Koi. Just
Titanic.
As a champion, Koi is a bit stronger, though with less CC for sure and less setup. But you can see in these trades, Thresh is ahead, but unable to really push any advantage with that gold lead.
I don't think Thresh is ahead right now. He's down 15 CS and a kill. I mean, the assists are there, but I mean, you have a full item plus boots. I mean, to be fair, Thresh has a Titanic, which should be more expensive than the Eclipse, but the Nature's Grasp comes down. Crown gets hit by the ult, is trying to run away. Baymax is not in a good spot. Ignite goes down on Koifish very early. The TPs have come through for both teams. We are going to get a nice little fight here. Crown is forced to flash and cleanse away from the Nautilus. Koi is not in a good spot. Eviscerate gets tagged with the... does not get tagged with the hook, I'm sorry. Mind. This is all over the place. These teams, just please group up together. They're on top of Mind right now. Flashes away. The Super Mega Death Rocket missed. Baymax super low on mana. But Crown gets hit by the charm. Ninetales with amazing placement. Eerie is still alive, trying to get some damage back. Eviscerate does take down Nautilus. but the dragon is spawned right there for the Coast Guard to take, and a solid fight from the Coast Guard. Very extended, but they blow a lot of stuff, but they get the ghost and the cleanse and the flash from the Vayne. Mind picks up Koi Fish. He is so low, and then Eerie does grab Ari. The hook connects, and Nozdorm is going to fall. Junkyard Sniper is low. They are looking for it. Eviscerate is looking for the hook, and he is going to get it. Oh, the barrier as well. But the hooks are all over the place. It is hooks galore. Foos keeps the Thresh underneath the turret, grabs one in response, and oh my gosh, 4 kills for the Navy. I believe 4 kills for the Coast Guard, and oh, this is a fight and a half. A 7-1 Tristana.
Yeah, that was a very extended fight. Crown, I think the key thing there was the fight started out really well for the Coast Guard because they burned both of Crown Summoner spells very early on, and that second charm coming from out of the bush was really key in taking out that Vayne. But
they even saw the Ari there. She was standing on a ward. They knew exactly where she was, but they were not expecting the Ari charm to connect.
Yeah, definitely. It's just sort of hard for...
Ninetale is in there. She's looking. She's not going to step up a little further. The charm goes a little too short. And a nice smite from Mind secures the steal. Chemtech Dragon over to the Navy as the fight breaks out. Eviscerate and Mind both grab one. Mind grabs his second as Eviscerate is running down Ninetale. A great steal. The charm is there, but Ninetale's not able to follow up. Still stunned by the death sentence. And this looks like it's going to be a collapse. Another great hook. Eviscerate grabs him. Ninetale! Oh my god!
That is
2 autos and she falls!
Yeah, that Tristana does a lot of damage. Didn't even have to burn ulti there. Restarting the dragon without their Jinx there really cost the Coast Guard. Jinx was still coming back from base after dying earlier, so that was a 4v5 fight. We'll see if they can find a 5v5 because they do have a decent shot. I mean, Vi currently has Sundered Sky, so she can actually survive the Tristana's damage for a decent amount of time. Not a long time, but enough that something can happen in favor of the Coast Guard.
Eerie stepping up a little far, but is not concerned in the slightest. Probably going to come back with the Phantom Dancer as well as the Kraken Slayer. So much attack speed, so much damage. Oh my gosh. This Tristana is going to be an absolute menace. 8-1 right now, 4 assists. There's just, again, there's so many damage threats, and this is
that's a charm landing.
That's a great charm onto Mind, but he does not have the ult nor the flash, but it's not necessary. That bonus movement speed, what is it? 60% bonus movement speed? It just allows him to zoom away. And this is a bruiser Thresh. This is an AD, but the Titanic Hydra, and I wonder if we're gonna be able to see potentially the Overlord's
Bloodmail.
Overlord's Bloodmail. Thank you. I really hope we get to see that one. A nice hook brings Mind right on top of Koi Fish. Death Sentence connects. Will pop the Dominus, try to get that bonus health. Mind is taken low, is forced to ult to recover his health. But oh my god! That's great slice and dice from Koi Fish, but it's not going to be enough. They are going to be able to take... They're not! They don't want to overcommit. Baymax is on his way. Nature's Grasp comes out, will tag up the Nautilus, roots up one, uses the Twisted Advance, connects to Nas, and a double kill for Mind. Jinx Rocket, the Super Mega Death Rocket, finds no kills. They didn't get the Crocodile, but they get 2 more.
Yeah, I mean, Koi Fish was already out. It's probably not the best for the Coast Guard to recommit onto that play.
What makes you say that?
Well, I think they were looking for it because Vi did have ulti, but I mean, Baymax coming in there, she was able to really disrupt all of the Coast Guard's plans in the top lane.
well done from the Maokai. Like you said, she's playing very well on this champion. She's had two very good games between the Seraphine and the Maokai. And they're going to walk in. Foos is stuck. And unfortunately, he gets absolutely eviscerated by Eviscerate. Oh, okay. That was terrible even for me. I think Freak would be disappointed in that one.
I appreciate it. I appreciate it.
Got a couple people in the chat hoping for a game 3. I'm sorry, guys. I don't think it's going to happen. A 21-8 kill lead. 10,500 gold at 20 minutes. The Baron has just spawned. Coast Guard, though, was able to grab one dragon. That's one more objective than they got previous game. So, improvement.
It does let them scale. I'm looking at this Jinx and thinking, look, this Jinx loses to Tristana, loses to Echo, loses to Vayne, but if she can get one ulti and get a reset, she no longer loses. So there's still a chance. It's not a large chance, but Coast Guard does have the tools to come back in this game. I think in this game, if Goats of Glory play the way that they did last game, where mine was just taking every single fight on that Jarvan, then they have a really they have a possibility of losing it, right? Especially as we look towards this dragon fight, you can see that Koi is pushing up on this top lane, so Koi will probably get the first TP, though.
Foos
if Foos dies here, it won't matter that much.
Foos is half health from one combo from Mind. The bombs go off, and Vi is killed as well. Baymax tried to insect Junkyard Sniper, fails it, but it doesn't matter. A double kill for Airy. Eviscerate trying to tag up Koifish. Has picked up the Heart Steal now. It's that extra little bit of damage. Slower stacking because he's ranged, but it really doesn't even matter. Crown and Baymax are going to duo the Ocean Dragon. Meanwhile, Mind was pinging onto the Baron. They are looking for a lot of stuff here.
Yeah, unlike last game, the Baron has spawned by the time that the Navy wiped the Coast Guard in a fight. So Mind is trying to solo this.
Mind is taking a lot of damage. Is forced to pop the ult, the Chrono Break, just to stay alive long enough for his team to come in, but it doesn't really even matter. There's no vision for the Coast Guard on this. 5 alive for the Navy, 5 Baron buffs out on the field, and this is going to be 3.5 minutes of absolute torture.
Yeah, you can see that double 80 carry comp really melting through that Baron's health bar. Mind with Nashers and the Lichbane helping out a good amount too.
Yeah, bonus damage once you get below, what is it, 20% health, that additional % health damage from Echo.
Yeah,
oh no.
Koi. Oh no.
Koi is not in a good spot. Another Dominus, and the prison goes down. Mind is doing so much damage. Godlike. 9-3 and 8. Airy is going to get caught and will fall here.
No.
A kill to the Ahri, but are we going to see a return? And we will! Enough damage from Tristana will fall the Junkyard Sniper. Oh, at least he got one in return. Without that kill in return, that actually might have been really bad.
Yeah, and also another good thing
is still pretty bad for the Coast Guard.
Yeah,
you spent so much to kill Tristana. Yeah, you get a massive shutdown, but you still lose your 80 carry. The kill doesn't even go over to the Jinx. The kill goes to Ahri. So a good target to get kills on, but it's still, your Jinx is so far behind right now.
Yeah, that Jinx not getting the kill was pretty bad, because I think with the kill, Jinx would be probably like 200 gold away from IE. She'd be in a position where she can at least do some damage to everyone besides the Thresh. But as it stands, I think she's dead again.
Oh, yeah. Oh my gosh, she knows. The Jinx knows he can't do anything about it. His mind just runs over the team. The hook misses. Foos is here, and Foos is dead again. A legendary Echo. Baymax picks up her first kill of the game. They are just stomping this game. And I think we're actually going to get a timely end, unlike we had the first game. They want to end this now.
Yeah, they don't really want to give Junk the ability to maybe get to that 2-item spike, maybe make something happen. I think this Nexus is just going to go down, and
Absolutely,
that is a 2-0 victory for the Navy.
12-3 Echo, 11-2 Tristana, two massive damage dealers carry the Navy to a 2-0 victory over the Coast Guard. An excellent game. And I do like how the Navy, they did not give it a chance. They did not give the Coast Guard a chance to potentially slowly claw their way back in, unlike they did game one. They're like, okay, we're ahead. Let's just end this right now. So very, very well played from the Navy, and kudos to the Coast Guard. Unfortunate for you guys, but I do have faith in you. I believe you can bounce back. I believe you are one of the better teams that we have. And I know today, I'm pretty sure today was just an off day for you guys. I know you're going to come back next week. You're going to come back a lot stronger. So, but well done to the Navy. Excellently played. And again, to you guys in the chat, if you would like to help out in any way, there are you can type !volunteer and go to the link there. You can see about helping out in any capacity with the stream, with the organization in general. You can type !donate or hit the button below the stream and donate to the AFDL to keep putting on these events, or you can also sub. We are still only 8 subs away from our goal. And thank you so much, Bob, for joining me today. You did an excellent job for your first cast, one of the most knowledgeable players that I have had the pleasure of playing with, and I am very happy with what you've done today.
Yeah, thank you for having me on. These games were extremely exciting, and I hope that both Goats of Glory and Coast Guard Gaming can go on and really make their mark on the league.
Yeah, we had 2 very interesting games today, and we will be back next Tuesday with the European League at 2 p.m. Eastern, and we will be back with North America at 8 p.m. on Tuesday. As you are aware, 4th of July week next week. Heck yes, America. Always going to be interesting. And we do actually, side bit across from the AFDL, did you see the matchup that we have at the Esports World Cup on July 4th?
I did not. Care to enlighten me?
Team Liquid versus Fnatic. NA versus EU on the 4th of July.
Wow.
That's a good one.
They're really scheduling to bump up that viewership, huh?
They really are. But at the same time, you're like, yeah, we're going to have our North America play on July 4th, but also, y'all know what we do on July 4th. We get burgers, hot dogs, and we have a good old time.
Yeah, I'm really excited for that matchup. It's a lot more exciting to me than watching my North American representatives be taken out by Korea and China continuously.
I mean, at least we get the classic NAEU matchup. We're not just like, hey, you guys get eliminated by China and Korea right away. All right, bye. So
yeah, hopefully that can go to Game 5. Give APA as much time as possible to type in all chat.
Thank you again, Bob, for joining me. Thank you to all of you in the chat for joining us tonight, and we will see you next week.
I love the chase and the hunt, and I set the pace when I'm running. I always take what I want and I always give it 100. Don't need a bank, no, I'm funded. Play the game like it's nothing. I'm always thankful for something. Don't take for granted, stay humble. Now wake up, it's time to look at the enemy. Look in the mirror if he is no friend to me. It's not working out, maybe it's the chemistry. It's time to break up so I can make a better me. Better believe in your mind, cause it's everything. You can mold, shape, find almost anything. All it takes is some time and some clarity to find your identity. It's mind over everything. And when I feel like this, I'm immortal. When I feel like this, I'm immortal. When I feel like this, I'm immortal. crack. And if you get in my way, you gonna feel the wrath. Gotta say it to my face while he's looking back. Mirror breaks after math. When I hate, I attack. And when I feel like this, I'm immortal. When I feel like this, I'm immortal.